On Gimel Tammuz, Taf Shin Nun Aleph, which was the final Gimel Tammuz that the Rebbe was actually able to speak and share sichos before his stroke several months later. The Rebbe actually spoke about the significance of the date of Gimel Tammuz and its correlation with this week's Parsha, Parsha's Korach, and how you see a certain pattern and theme on the day of Gimel Tammuz and the Parsha. What happens in this week's Parsha? Korach challenges Aaron's kahuna, Aaron being chosen as the high priest, and Hashem, to prove how Aaron's the real Kohen, tells all 12 Shvatim to put their staffs next to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and the one who Hashem chooses to be the Kohen Gadol, his staff will miraculously grow almonds. Yet that miracle didn't just happen spontaneously, that a dead stick grew almonds. It actually went through the natural process of growth, very hastily, very speedily, but it went through the natural process of a bloom and a bud, and eventually the flower falls away, and then you see the almond. Now, the question could be asked, if a miracle was going to happen anyways, that a dead stick is going to start growing fruit, why didn't it just naturally grow fruit? Why didn't it just miraculously, spontaneously have almonds appear on it? Why did it go through the natural budding process if it wasn't a natural occurrence? It was a miracle. That's one thing we see in the Parsha. Now, on the date of Gimel Tammuz, we have a couple historical occurrences. The Frierdiker Rebbe was arrested by the Russians. He was sentenced to death and to practically sitting in harsh prison. On Gimel Tammuz, that sentence was lightened from going to harsh prison and even death to be exiled somewhere deep inside Russia. And 10 days later, he was told he could eventually go free. That was on Yud Beis Tammuz. Now, the question over here is also, if a miracle is going to happen, that one of the most wanted fugitives threatening communist Russia, the Frierdiker Rebbe, was placed at a death sentence, and now a miracle is going to happen that he's going to go free. Why did that happen gradually and not spontaneously? Hashem wants the miracle to happen. Hashem wants the Frierdiker Rebbe free. Why did it have to go through this slow evolving process of first being lightened from a prison sentence to a exile sentence, then 10 days later to go free? Why don't we just see the miracle happen right away? Why does it have to go through the natural process? We also see that Yeshua, on Gimel Tammuz, was fighting the nations in Eretz Yisrael. He had good momentum. They were dominating the enemy, but the sun was about to go down, and there was no sources of light. Once it became night, they had to pause the war for the day. So Yeshua davened, and a miracle happened. The sun stopped in its place. Incredible miracle. And then the Yidden were able to finish killing off the enemy. But if Hashem wanted to help Yeshua destroy the enemy, why didn't he just spontaneously destroy the enemy? Why make a whole miracle in the backdrop, but still need the Yidden to keep fighting? If Hashem wanted them to destroy the enemy, then just destroy them. Many things could have happened that the Yidden didn't even need to fight. But no, a miracle happened, but nature still needed to evolve. What's the common theme? What's the point of all these three significant stories? Is the following, and it has a very pertinent message for our time. The point of a miracle, the ultimate point of a miracle, isn't to overpower nature. Hashem created nature. Hashem created the ordinary, and therefore he appreciates and loves the ordinary. And he wants to redeem the ordinary. So when he brings a miracle, and when he brings open godliness, the point isn't for the open godliness and for the miracle to overpower nature. The point is to affect nature, that nature itself starts echoing the miracle. That the miracle itself starts evolving from nature. Hashem didn't just want to overpower a staff and turn it alive miraculously. Hashem wanted to miraculously permeate the nature of the stick, that the stick starts budding and creating fruits. Hashem didn't want to just take away the nature of the Yidden needing to win their war and to own their destiny. Hashem wanted to set a miracle in the backdrop, so now they could go win their war. And Hashem didn't want to just redeem the Frierdiker Rebbe from beyond nature. Hashem values nature. Hashem wants a dir b'tachtonim, wants to be open and revealed in this world. This world is stuck in the confines of nature, and Hashem wants the miracle of godliness to unfold through nature itself. Come to our Gimel Tammuz. A couple years later, that's the day of the Rebbe's Histalkos, and we no longer see the Rebbe. And it's incumbent upon us to learn the lesson of this Sikha. We had the Rebbe, and the Rebbe was our miracle, who constantly pushed us out of our nature, be able to raise people up who thought nothing of themselves, and turn them into leaders, to be able to literally learn to give up their lives and inspire countries, cities, and to turn an entire broken, destroyed Jewish nation post-Holocaust, and to light them on fire and to make it the most dominant, accomplished generation of Yiddishkeit ever. But then Gimel Tammuz happens, and we need to remember, what's the lesson of Gimel Tammuz? Gimel Tammuz is when the miracle goes underground, when the sun starts setting and we start seeing the sun reflected in the stars. When the miracle goes into the stick, the miracle doesn't just light the stick from outside. It permeates the nature of the stick, that the stick itself starts unfolding that nature. That means on Gimel Tammuz, practically, we need to realize the calling that this day brings for us. It's not enough just to have a Rebbe that we're big fans of, but the Rebbe has to become our nature. We need to become natural, ordinary manifestations of Rebbe. That what people used to be able to see in the Rebbe's eyes, the upliftedness, the love, and the soul connection and fire that people used to find in the Rebbe, people need to start finding that in us. What the Rebbe believed in and the way the Rebbe saw life, we need to start seeing life that way. It might not look the same, it might look very ordinary, but that's the ultimate beauty of a miracle, that the miracle could permeate the ordinary and change us from the inside. Have a great Shabbos.